Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at the pitching for today, the 7th of May. It is Wednesday. We do have a 5-game day slate and a 7-game main slate ahead of us. Does not appear we have much weather to worry about. Some issues in Kansas City potentially, but last I heard is we probably should see a full game at some point this evening. Not a whole lot of wind issues. Some strong winds in Wrigley. And we can tell based on the game total of that one, as it sits at 7 with juice on the under. So it's definitely something we want to pay attention to from a pitching standpoint. Still cold in Colorado, but it is Colorado, so the ball still flies. Interesting spot there, but we will get to that. As a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options. I will be utilizing DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play on FanDuel, I will cut my pool into a half, as you don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't quite as tight. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. So with all that said and done, let's just jump right into this first 5-gamer here. Houston, Milwaukee. Just never going to play Quinn Priester at this point. Started out the season strong. Two solid starts. Negatives in the last two, just not all that strong. They're letting him throw a ton of pitches. The Astros lineup is weakened without Yordan Alvarez. With that said, they still have power in the lineup, and I'm just not going to rely on Quinn Priester against many teams at this point. Framber Valdez, not the sharpest of seasons so far. A few strong starts, so he does have it in him. 2 of his top 3 starts have actually come on the road where he's at today. So that's a decent scenario. But he is allowing more runs on the road. Less base runners, more runs. So maybe it's a little bit unlucky. Kind of look into some of his underlying metrics. Maybe that'll show. He's in play for me just because Milwaukee can struggle against left-handed pitching. They had been struggling for the last week to 10 days or so. They got some runs yesterday off of Wesneski. I think Framber's still in play. The game total in this one's just 7.5. Houston is a minus 135 favorite. He's plus 130 to earn the W, which is the second best number on this particular slate. K-prop of 5.5 with juice on the under. Which is roughly the 4th best. There's a few 5.5 K-props on this particular slate. So I think we're just going to have to use Framber Valdez as gross as it sounds or feels. Maybe we replace him with a guy like Mitch Keller. I just don't like the way that Mitch Keller's been throwing the baseball. One solid start, or strong start, but that did come against the same opponent. So maybe it is a spot to go to him. His overall strength, he has been best at home so far this season. On the road, sorry. I apparently can't read. He's been atrocious at home. So maybe, the obvious issue is the fact that St. Louis doesn't strike out all that much. His K-prop's at 4.5 with juice on the under. So some of the upside is capped a little bit. Game total is 7.5 with juice on the under in this one, so it's the second lowest total on this slate. Maybe he's in play. I don't necessarily love it. I do like Sonny Gray, even though he comes in some pretty horrible form. He was solid against the Pirates earlier this season. Has a bit more K upside. K props at 5.5 with juice on the over, which is the top prop on the slate. Plus 160 to earn the W, which is the 3rd best on this slate as well. I think Sonny Gray at 8,200, just a pretty solid play. Numbers don't show it this year. His K numbers are strong at home. I believe last year he was much better when pitching at home, so I do kind of expect those splits to even out a little bit better, possibly starting today. San Francisco, Chicago, wind blowing in Wrigley. Always a plus. Robbie Ray, coming off of a dominant start, has looked good each of the last 2. 8 strikeouts in 3 out of his last 4 starts. We do know the Robbie Ray experience is super volatile. K-prop of 5.5. Juices on the under. Plus 215 are in the W, which does feel a little elevated. Game total of 7. Juice on the under, like I mentioned when looking at the weather. I think Robbie Ray's in play. It is a dangerous spot. His K numbers on the road have been phenomenal, but he can allow base runners, a lot of walks. Walks are not a good thing. I don't have his stolen base numbers in front of me. I can try to bring them up on the side as we talk about Ben Brown here. Ben Brown, the favorite in this one. The Cubs are minus 148 favorites. K-prop of 5.5 is basically a pick'em. Puts him tied for second on the slate in terms of K-prop. Plus 185 to earn the W, so only slightly better than Robbie Ray. Coming off of a great start. Been strong in 3 out of his last 4. I mean, he can be volatile too. Walks can show up for him, but has a ground ball lean. Has been allowed to go to 100 pitches, but topped out at 80 since then. I would guess he's probably more in the 85 range most times, but he does have the upside to go above that. I think he's got to be in play. I do like him quite a bit. They're going to need him to step up after the bullpen just completely crapped itself yesterday. Looking at Robbie Ray from a stolen base standpoint, he's allowed 7 out of 10 attempts so far in 38 innings this season. I bring that up because the Cubs at home going into yesterday, I haven't seen the updated numbers, had 33 stolen bases in 17 home games so far. Last year in just 30 innings, Ray allowed 9 stolen bases, so teams will run on him by the looks of it. So we do expect the Cubs to kind of try to steal some bags when they get on, especially with the wind blowing in. They can try to create a little bit more offense. Seattle and the Athletics. So tough. Gunnar Hoglund won us some money in his debut. Probably can't really rely on him as much here. Game total of 9, juice on the over. He doesn't have a win odds number yet. His K-prop's just 3.5 with juice on the over. I mean, I like him. I just don't know if we can go with him against the Seattle squad. There's just a lot of upside in that lineup. Might have to pass on Gunnar Hoglund. The other side, Wu was strong against the A's to begin the season. Has been really strong the entire time. A lot of starts on the road, even though his 2 worst starts did come on the road. But he's only made 2 home starts as well. K-prop of 5.5 is a pick'em, so he's tied for second. He's got the best win odds on the slate at plus 110. I think there are enough strikeouts in the A's lineup, and he's not getting destroyed by the home run ball, which is always nice to see. Probably in the 90 pitch range with the ability to get to the upper 90s, so we should be fine with Brian Wu in our player pool. Mets Diamondbacks. Strong total in this one. Game total of 9. Juice on the over. Really just going to be interested in Kodai Senga. Was solid against the D-backs last time, but came out early. Pitch count obviously seems to be a thing. They're kind of holding him back a little bit, but plus 165 to earn the W, which puts him 4th, right behind Sonny Gray. K-prop of 4.5 with juice on the over. Not a great K-prop. He does have K upside and ability. I just think he's going to be in play, even though I am a big Arizona offense fan overall. So there's the kind of first look at the early slate. Let's take a look at the main slate here. San Diego, New York, great pitching matchup, Fried and Cease. Fried plus 115 to earn the W, while Cease is a gross plus 285. It seems kind of egregious, but game total of just 8 with juice on the under. Fried's K-prop 5.5, juice on the under. Cease's is 5.5 with juice on the over. Fried's been phenomenal. The problem is San Diego isn't a huge strikeout team, and they're even better with Jackson Merrill back. Cease, super volatile, a lot of walks, but he can pick up strikeouts. The problem is the Yankees actually aren't striking out as much as you want to believe, or I want to believe. So I think both guys are in play. I just like Fried a little bit better. but he's still in a volatile spot. Pitching in this Philadelphia-Tampa Bay game, game total just 8. Juices on the over in this one. Neither guy has win odds yet. Philly minus 130 favorites. Both guys have K-props of 5.5. Baz is a pick'em, and Sanchez is juiced to the over. I like left-handed pitching against Tampa Bay, so Christopher Sanchez definitely going to be somebody I'm relying on. Shane Baz, the last 2 home starts have not been good. Not good at all. His K numbers have come down a little bit. Walks have crept up. This is a volatile spot for him. With that said, I think there's a lot of upside if he kind of rights the ship a little bit, because there is a bunch of K ability. He does have 2 double-digit strikeouts on the games on the season, but he's just volatile. I think we just have to sprinkle him in. Cincy, Atlanta, Hunter Green, somebody I'm obviously going to be on. I'm basically always on him, so we're going there. Can have a home run issue, but that's all right. We live with those when we have the big ceiling upside. Has multiple 34-plus fantasy point performances already this season. Game total just 7.5 with juices on the over on this one. Green has the best K-prop at 7.5, juice on the under. Well, Holmes' K-prop is at 5.5, and it's basically a pick'em. So he's got a strong number after he just dominated against the Dodgers early on. Kind of fell apart late, but still, 20-plus fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4 starts. It's going to be in play just because Cincinnati can struggle and strike out plenty. They are a dangerous offense, similar to that Philly-Tampa Bay matchup, but I like the pitching a little better in the Cincinnati-Atlanta game. Baltimore-Minnesota, definitely not going to Charlie Morton. He's just been lit up no matter whenever he takes the mound. Woods Richardson might be in play. Walks crept up last time, but 2 starts ago, 7 strikeouts. He just randomly pops up. Baltimore struck out a ton against Pablo Lopez yesterday. Woods Richardson's K-prop, 5.5, juices on the under. He is all the way down at plus 205 during the W, so maybe he's not the greatest play, but I think he probably ends up in the pool. He might be one of the first guys we eliminate to get to a comfortable number, around 7-8 pitchers in my pitcher pool. Michael Wacha, we're going to go back to picking on the White Sox. Lugo just didn't pick up strikeouts last night. Was pretty solid overall, but strikeouts matter when you're not getting clean innings. Michael Wacha, K-prop of 4.5 is basically a pick'em. He's the largest favorite on the slate as Kansas City is minus 225. Game total of just 8. That means the White Sox have a pretty low team total. So I'm just going to go to Wacha. He doesn't have any win odds props yet, but I expect that to be a very inviting number. Not from a betting standpoint, but from just expecting a W standpoint. Going to Coors, Jackson Jobe. Somebody that I'm going to consider, but I would probably put him behind Woods Richardson, which means he probably doesn't end up in my pool. Big-time prospect. Throws the ball hard. Could show up here with some reverse splits, depending on the Colorado lineup. If they are left-hand heavy, I think Joe becomes a stronger play. Downer, big-time prospect. I'm just not going to rely on him against Detroit. Last game on this slate, Jose Barrios and Kikuchi. Barrios a K-prop of 5.5 with juice on the under. Kikuchi's is 4.5 with juice on the under. Barrios plus 160 to earn the W, while Kikuchi is plus 190. I'm going to be on Barrios just because I'm going to pick on the Angels lineup quite often. Coming off of his best start of the season from a fantasy points perspective, I think Barrios is in a good spot. He's only throwing 80-some pitches, upper 80s. That's a bit of a worry, but I think he's in a good spot. Kikuchi has upside, but he's going to walk a lot of guys. It's a dangerous spot just because Toronto doesn't strike out all that much. With that said, I think he's going to end up in play, and I would put him ahead of Woods Richardson and Jobe as far as making my pool. But there we have it. There's our first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. We do a live show now as well, so if you want to check that out this afternoon. But best of luck, everybody.